So this is talking to you about the fermentation process, which is taking a carbohydrate in the presence of yeast. Remember, yeast is an organism that contains enzymes, and enzymes only function at particular temperatures. So this reaction is carried out at 30. Explain why the reaction is carried out at 30 rather than 80. So that is because yeast contains enzymes, and if they get to 80 degrees, so 80 degrees, they will be denatured. And if they're denatured, they stop working. Ethanol is converted into ethanoic acid. What is the name for the process? So if you look here, what we're doing, you've got one oxygen in ethanol and we've got two oxygens in the ethanoic acid. So we're adding oxygen. Adding oxygen is oxidation. So the only sensible one here is oxidized. Draw structure of ethanoic acid. So this is a carboxylic acid. So the functional group looks like this at the end, and then what we've got left is this bit here. So we've got a C, H, H, H. Make sure you've got all the bonds drawn, because it says here draw all the bonds in there. Mark wise, you get 1 mark if you get the carboxylic acid group correct, by the looks of it. So that's this bit, and then you get another mark for getting this CH3 with all the bonds shown as well. Okay, so here we've got some apparatus, and we have done this experiment ourselves in class. So we're heating up some water to measure the temperature change and use that to calculate the energy released when we burn a alcohol. Take your time with the question, read the information. It says here, describe the remaining steps that are needed to determine the mass of ethanol required to raise the water by 30. So they've stopped this when they've lit the wick, so they've ignited the wick. So what you would do next is allow the temperature to rise by 30 degrees. Once you've got that 30 degrees, you would put the flame out, and then you would find the mass of if they called it a spirit burner, yep, find the mass of the spirit burner, and then you would calculate the change in mass to get the difference between the two. Carrying on, so here again we've got a big table of information, and what it wants you to do is to draw a graph of that data. There are 3 marks for the graph. In order to give you the marks, you get 1 mark here if your line is best fit. Remember, it's got to be nice and smooth, like the one I've done here. Another mark if the points are correctly plotted, and another mark if the axis fills half or more of the graph. Okay, so 3 marks in your answer for this question.